No, there's been no change to the situation. All my focus has been on the training, on Aston Villa, on the transfer front in terms of trying to get players in. And you can imagine that that is all consuming for me. So Alex's situation has been unchanged for a while, and that will continue to be the case, I think.
You've enjoyed a good relationship with him, haven't you, over the 3 years that you've been a Newcastle United player? Given everything that's going on and the difficulties associated with it, do you feel that good understanding is still intact?
Yeah, I've had a great relationship with Alex. I think you need to have that partnership with every player. I take my part of that relationship really, really importantly. I think in the respect that I have to work really closely with the player for his benefit, to try and improve them, to try and help them, to try and educate them, sometimes console them. You know, there's so many different emotions that players go through, and I always want to be there for them in every way. And me and Alex have enjoyed a great relationship. I don't think he'd have done as well as he's done without that, and without his teammates, and without the supporters and the backing of the whole football club. So he recognises that as well. He's a highly intelligent person, and he knows he wouldn't have had the success here without everybody connected with Newcastle. So this is a different moment for him and for us, and we're working through that together.
Last question from me. To what extent do you feel this has had an impact on the other players in their preparations, because they know they're not going to be playing alongside one of the best strikers around and somebody who's been a great teammate for them over the last few seasons?
Certainly early pre-season, I haven't shied away from the fact that was a...
Liverpool. Second ISAC, offer amount revealed as minimum. Newcastle demand comes to light. Liverpool are reportedly preparing a fresh bid for Swedish striker Alexander Isak. With the minimum fee Newcastle United will accept now emerging. Earlier in the summer, any hopes the Reds had of signing Isak appeared slim. Newcastle had publicly insisted he was not for sale following their Champions League qualification. However, Liverpool's initial approach prompted the Sweden international to inform the Magpies that he wanted to leave St. James's Park and make the switch to Anfield. The Merseyside club subsequently lodged a £110 million offer, which Newcastle swiftly rejected. Liverpool are now believed to be holding off until they sense a genuine willingness from Newcastle to negotiate, especially as the Tyneside outfit begin lining up possible replacements. According to transfer journalist Nicolas Skira, Liverpool have already agreed personal terms with Isak and are ready to launch a new official bid. Skira wrote on X, Alexander #Isak hasn't altered his stance. He still wants to leave #Newcastle and has requested a transfer. Isak has personal terms. Agreed with #Liverpool and is pushing to join #LFC. #Reds are set to make a new official offer to #NUFC. Former Manchester United and Tottenham scout Mick Brown, who remains well connected within the Premier League, has revealed the lowest figure Newcastle are willing to entertain. Speaking to Football Insider, Brown said, Newcastle aren't being held to ransom. They don't want to lose Isak. But if he keeps pushing for a move and refuses to play, I believe they'll accept an offer. From what I hear, Liverpool will return with a higher bid, likely upwards of £120 million. That's the minimum Newcastle are asking for. They've already gone in at £110 million, but haven't pushed further. Everyone knows the situation, and it's in both clubs' interests to reach a deal. If Liverpool increase their offer, I think it stands a much better chance of being accepted. From Liverpool's perspective, they're confident because the player is eager to join them. If Newcastle see that he's not willing to settle, they might decide they're better off cashing in. Should a deal be struck, Liverpool would be on the verge of landing one of the most highly rated young strikers in the world, Richard Hughes. Liverpool's sporting director has already delivered an impressive transfer window, though its true success will be judged on the long-term performances of his recruits. On paper, signings such as Florian Wirtz, Hugo Ekitike, Jeremy Frimpong, and Milos Kirkazar are catching additions players, capable of operating at the highest level and already considered among the best young talents in their respective positions. Many of them were targeted by rival Premier League clubs. But Hughes' persuasive approach proved decisive in bringing them to Anfield. And his work is not yet done. He is reportedly determined to end the window on a high. While Isak is Liverpool's top priority, Hughes is also mindful of the team's defensive frailties, which were exposed during preseason due to a shortage of depth at center-back. Although Joe Gomez is now fit, Liverpool still have only 3 senior central defenders. This is why Hughes has been pursuing Crystal Palace's Mark Gahey for much of the summer. And it also explains his interest in Giovanni Leone. The Reds have reached a £26 million agreement with Parma for the Italian teenager, who is expected to undergo a medical shortly. Leone may be unfamiliar to many Liverpool fans, but at just 18 years old, he already has a notable track record. He made his senior debut in the 2022-23 season for Padova in Serie C at the age of 16, before progressing to Sampdoria in Serie B and then joining Parma in Serie A despite his youth. Leone is an assured and technically gifted center-back. In his age group, players aged 18 or under, only a handful can match his talent and potential, with Lamine Yamal, Pokubarsi, Miles Lewis-Skelly, and Ethan Nwaneri being the most comparable. That puts Leone comfortably among the top 5 prospects worldwide in his category. The data supports this assessment. Last season, across Europe's top 5 leagues, only 2 center-backs under the age of 21 more than 60% of both their defensive and aerial duels. One of them was Leone, with an impressive 69% success rate in defensive duels and 64.5% in aerial battles. For Liverpool, this represents the acquisition of a rare gem at what can only be described as a bargain price. Once again, Richard Hughes looks to have pulled off a masterstroke in the transfer market. Arsenal performed major U-turn on £50 million Manchester United winger after due diligence. Arsenal have officially stepped away from a potential move for Manchester United star Alejandro Garnacho. Despite previously expressing interest in the Argentine winger, a new report has also shed light on Tottenham Hotspur's stance regarding the 21-year-old. While Team Talk claims to know which club is now the clear favorite to land him before the window shuts, Garnacho's future at Old Trafford has been effectively closed off under new boss Ruben Amorim. The Portuguese manager reportedly informed him at the end of last season that he was free to seek a new club, following Garnacho's outspoken frustration over being left out of the starting sheet for the Europa League final against Tottenham. On July 4th, Fabrizio Romano revealed on X that Garnacho, along with 4 other players, had officially told United he wanted to leave. With the summer transfer window closing on September 1st, both player and club are under pressure to finalize an exit quickly. Arsenal initially appeared to be a viable escape route for the explosive winger, who has contributed 26 goals and 22 assists in 144 appearances for the Red Devils. However, the Manchester Evening News reports that, after conducting due diligence on Garnacho, Arsenal decided against pursuing a deal. Instead, the Gunners have turned their focus elsewhere, signing Chelsea's Noni Madueke and maintaining interest in Crystal Palace playmaker Abrichiez. Tottenham, too, briefly explored the idea of signing Garnacho, but they are now prioritizing a move for Manchester City's Savinho. Garnacho's former side, Atletico Madrid, also considered bringing him back, but instead opted to sign Villarreal's Spain international Alex Bina. Last season, Garnacho made 58 appearances for United, registering 11 goals and 10 assists. While Arsenal, Tottenham, and Atletico have cooled their interest, Chelsea view him as a shrewd acquisition.
Team Talks.
Rudy Galletti reports that the Blues have already agreed personal terms with the player. Sources close to the deal claim that winger has made it clear that Chelsea is the only club he wants to join this summer. United are holding out for £50 million, €58 million, $67.7 million, but Chelsea believe they can drive the price down to around £35 million, €40.6 million, $47.4 meters, confident that the Red Devils will eventually accept. Former United defender John O'Kane has urged his old club not to cave in, pointing to Nottingham Forest's £35 million deal for James McCaddy, a player older than Garnacho, but with far less Premier League experience.